What's going on, everybody? LK here, back at it again with another video, and today some more Dragon Ball FighterZ for y'all. So today, I've been meaning to talk about this for a while, but there's been so much UI is broken that I haven't actually gotten to touch on this. So most of what I talked about in regards to UI is a lot of like counterplay stuff. You know, I talked about it on my tier list a good amount too, but I think this deserves its own video. So, what does UI actually do to the game? And I know some of y'all are gonna hear that and you're gonna say some shit about he's broken, that's what he does to the game in the comments below. Please don't do that. I mean, someone's gonna do it. So, especially since I put it out in the world, someone is going to do it. But, UI actually does change this game quite a bit, similarly to Season 2 GT Goku. So, I want to touch on that today. And don't forget too, if you like all the analysis, guides, match commentary, and all the other things I put on this channel, take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel if you have not already. It does help the channel grow, and I really do appreciate it. Thank you so much. So, I touched on this before, but in Season 1, I think the character that really changed the game forever, basically, is Bardock. I mentioned this in my tier list video. A ton of characters, basically everybody, is balanced around Bardock, and they give characters tools that Bardock has to make them better. Now, GT is a little bit of a different case. So one, of course, is the assist. So the first thing about the assist is that they're really scared of making these type of assists, the blast assists, super strong. So generally, these type of like Frieza A, Trunks A assists are meant good, but they have usually major flaws to go with it, the main one being block stun. So this assist being added to the game changed the game quite a bit in how people play neutral. They had to actually be scared of jumping. I don't want to say lazily, but jumping is one of the strongest tools you have for neutral, and there's a direct counter to that grounds you, that's an assist. So it's really non-committal and very, very strong. And of course, we don't need to say anything about GT, right? This move into mix-up added so much threat to getting hit. Remember that the worst thing a Dragon Ball player wants to experience is a hit that means something, that means they're going to die. It could be because they're going to get hit by like a mix-up, some type of 50-50 or 4-way, where they have to take major risks to escape. So what does UI do to the game then? So of course, like the other two characters I mentioned, he is extremely prevalent in the season. He's definitely one of the most popular characters. And you might have noticed I definitely didn't mention anything about the characters being themselves being specifically strong, right? Maybe as far as Bardock goes, just the fact that everyone is balanced around him is maybe a thing. You could be like, oh, he's so good, they had to do this. But for UI Goku, it's actually about, of all things, this assist. This is an assist I talked about a lot recently. It's his A assist. You are probably very familiar with it right now. It's an invincible assist that goes to the top of the screen and hits on both sides. What does this assist do besides what I just said, right? It is an invincible assist that hits at the top of the screen. The main thing actually comes from everyone playing him. He's a super common character. The main thing he actually shows us is the strength of a defensive assist. This is a really game-changing thing. I also mentioned this on my assist tier list as well, that I basically think defensive assists and like the neutral beams and beam-like assists are pretty much the best type of assists in the game. The difference is there's a ton of beams and beam-like options available in the game, and there are not so many defensive assists available. So in Season 3, of course, they added 2 more assists to each character. So in the case where a character did not have a beam assist available, so take like a Yamcha, they would give them maybe a beam as a B option, or in some characters' case like Base Goku, a C option. So Base Goku has one, the enemy has one, Gotenks has a C beam. Meanwhile, Yamcha, like I mentioned, has a B beam, Krillin has a B beam, Trunks has a B beam. And this doesn't even go into the characters who have things like beams, so like Android 21A, Broly A, and Kefla A. So there's a lot of ways to build a team where you have a neutral assist if you feel like it. Now the thing is though, we have way less options for defensive assists. The elephant in the room aside, the UI Goku A and Roshi B, you have things like Gogeta's B assist, his fixed DP assist, Android 17's A assist, a barrier with a hitbox, 18's A assist, which is the original very fast barrier, Hit's A assist, which has an invincible kick, Teen Gohan's A assist, the long time invincible ADP, and also Cooler's A assist, which is also a DP. So again, outside of UI and Roshi, and honestly, Roshi is kind of not in the same group as UI in this regard. The characters that have defensive assists are kind of uncommon picks. Like, you don't see a lot of people playing Cooler, you don't really see people playing 18. You do see people playing Teen Gohan, but most people play Teen Gohan on point, and it's kind of hard to hit confirm his DP for most characters. It's a little bit easier than it used to be. But now with the addition of UI Goku, and one, he helps out a lot of characters, and two, he combines really well with Kid Buu. I mentioned before that a lot of people who used to play Kid Buu Adult Gohan now play Kid Buu UI Goku. So between players like that moving to UI Goku and him just being popular in general because people think he's the best, this type of assist has now been brought to the forefront. So why does defensive assist change the game so much? So there's 3 major points we're going to look at real quick. For starters, it makes things that would traditionally be unsafe safe. So you could use it to cover things like Trunks flip, any type of movements with lariats, or even just like trying to get over your opponent, as well as using it to cover traditionally unsafe things like a block string like this. 2 comes from scrambles. So a really common example is when someone's trying to run under you and you have a defensive assist like UI's that hits on both sides especially. You can use him to protect yourself. In this game, it's pretty hard to see what's going on off screen, so you can call him off screen. The hitbox goes all the way to the top of the screen. Even other defensive assists like the barrier, even if they don't go to the top of the screen, you can still use it to lock a certain part of the screen off and protect yourself and land there safely. Now, the final and maybe the most important implied thing is what happens after you win the point war when you play a defensive assist. And I think this is the thing that a lot of people were missing because people don't really play Android 17, Android 18, Cooler, things like that. Those characters are pretty uncommon, so you would not notice this unless you played against a defensive assist a lot. And this thing is, if this happens to you, again, if you lose the point war and your opponent has a defensive assist, they have a much bigger advantage on you than normal, because now, besides the normal, you do less damage, less opportunities for skipping neutral slash setting up mix up with your assist, you also have to worry about spots on the screen you can't challenge. It's much harder to come back on a character and a team that has a defensive assist than normal. This is much more prevalent too when people are running double defensive assists like this. If you lose a point ward or something like that, it's really hard to get past both defensive assists. They're both cycling to, and the opponent running around. When they have a defensive assist, they can, I'm not gonna say flail, but they can definitely be a little bit more free in neutral because they have something to bank on to protect them. Okay, that was a small point, but I definitely think it was worth its own video. I think definitely with UI, but also Roshi has this factor as well. Any defensive team, any team with a defensive assist has this element of you're winning more than normal when you have it on your team. But I think it's just been brought way more to the forefront because more people are using UI and thus have a defensive assist. I definitely think defensive assists are really strong, and I mentioned this before in the assist tier list too. The really good thing about it is that it affects every level of play as well. So it's not just like low level play, if people are mashing around you, you can call it. It's really nice to have as a tool though, but also at high level, like the opponent has to take a pretty conscious risk when you have that defensive assist, especially when you have something like Roshi or UIA or any of the other DPs. And then if they're scared and you read them, you get to like pull up and you pretty much get free offense. So it's a really important part of the game that I think is accented by Ultra Instinct Goku's popularity. As usual, if you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them in the comment section below. Let me know how you feel. Like and subscribe if you feel like it, and I'll see you next time. Peace out.